those carburetors are not the most street-friendly things.
Okay.
What I recommend is leave your foot on the gas about quarter throttle.
Yeah.
There is no park neutral safety switch, so if you take it out of gear, put your left foot on the brake, and then your right foot at like quarter throttle, it cracks the butterflies enough that it actually wants to start when it's hot.
Okay.
I know, it's a weird procedure.
Okay, let me run through the gears. Ooh. Ooh, what is this?
So this is the 5-speed out of a 280ZX. It's pretty good for not having been rebuilt yet. The only thing about it that's weird is every once in a while it doesn't want to go into reverse.
Okay.
But it's been good today.
Okay, so crack the throttle.
Yep.
Do I need to pump it?
So I would go to key on because we have an electric fuel pump. So that would start to circulate fuel in case where we have a vapor lock going on. I'd pop it out of gear. You're on level ground, so you're fine there. Give it like quarter throttle and then start to crank it. Usually it takes 5 or 6.
5 or 6 turns of the motor.
Yeah, probably. Just keep going. A little more than quarter throttle. Oh, gotta give it a little more. All right, just crank it. Yep. It's weird to get used to. I also usually sit for a couple seconds and let everything equalize.
Okay.
It just seems to make everything go smoother.
Okay, so this is classic motorcycle thinking.
Pretty much.
You may have to hold. Do I have to hold the revs at stoplights?
You shouldn't.
Okay.
No.
Should I have my fan control on?
Yep, we could leave that on.
Okay.
Just for kicks and giggles.
Okay. Handbrake off.
Yep.
Pulling out. Grabs very high.
It does.
Oh, yeah, pretty high. Oh, this is light steering. What are you talking about?
It is.
Yeah.
The steering knuckles are actually 10 millimeters shorter than the original ones. So it's supposed to be quicker to turn. It's a lot harder at a dead stop than it used to be. It's a lot more friendly to speed.
That is a nice shifter.
Yeah. If you need to slide the seat around, feel free.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They did have Americans in mind when they made this. That seat goes nice and far back. Don't need it that far back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, had to wake up a minute.
The engine itself does like to be revved out a little bit more.
Okay.
So don't be scared of that.
Okay. I think I remember the loop when we went to the beat, but if not, you may have to get your phone out. I think I remember all the turns.
Gotcha. Never hurts to be prepared.
Signal.
It's tragic. The only gauge that doesn't work is the clock. And these early ones, it was actually a wind-up clock.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, hard. Yeah. This is like Tony's beat.
Yeah.
Ooh. Is this a real wood steering wheel?
To the best of my knowledge, they actually made it out of like a wooden resin in a press.
Oh, okay.
So they mulched wood and then turned the sawdust back into a wood steering wheel.
Alright, so what is this guy doing? Is the tachometer accurate?
It is.
Cool.
Fairly accurate.
I didn't even get into it at all.
The alignment bit better, but with the
old car.
Right. With the front air dam that I just put on, it sits surprisingly comfortable at 85, 90 on the bar.
Oh. That's got to be so cool to just like blow by people. Don't expect a car that's pushing 50 years old.
Yeah.
Man, breathes nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it wants to go.
Did these things come with back seats or no?
No, when they were making the 260, they had a model that was the 260 2+2, and there were little jump seats in the back, and the car had a pretty dramatically different roofline with extended quarter windows and everything that would pop out. Neat car. Ironically, they're almost harder to find than these are in good condition because they were so just nobody cared about them.
Yeah. See a sign, Santa can't. Yo, there's the kick. Ooh, that's nice. Is there a fifth gear?
There is. To be honest, it's pretty much useless if you're not on the highway.
Okay.
Went around with a GPS recently, and surprisingly, the speedometer is accurate.
Really?
Yeah, to within probably 2 miles an hour or so.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Never get that.
No, right?
My speedometer in my yeah. Oh boy. Well, it's time.
Yeah.
Kids, go to school, be successful. You can afford one of these.
The pool did have 2 of those lines that spit water into it, and that's what reminds me about all of this. Absolutely silly.
Oh, this is nice. It does, I guess, with a reverse flow head or the way it... There is a peak, and it's farther down on the rev range than I thought.
Yeah.
Well, I felt at about 5, you're hitting the limit.
So that actually has partly to do with how the carburetors are choked right now. A lot of people a lot smarter than me did a lot of messing around with flow benches and have written a surprising amount on what size choke Venturi and what size jets to use.
Yeah.
So these are 45 DCOE Weber carburetors that have 34mm Venturis in them.
Okay.
And the theoretical, I guess, upper bound for airflow at a 34mm Venturi is, if I remember right, it's like 5,800 RPM. After that, you can't flow anymore. No matter how much gas you pump in the motor, it's not going to rev out anymore. But the trade-off to that is it is friendlier at lower speeds.
Yeah.
Because the air is moving faster through a smaller diameter.
Yeah.
So if I had left the 36s in there, it would be a little bit harder to tune and a little bit less drivable.
Yeah. Okay, our turn is right
where
here?
that stop sign is. Yeah. That's
Right
where
here,
I came
here?
in. Yeah, here. So had I left the 36s in, it would scream like a banshee probably until like 65. But you sacrifice some around town.
Right.
So how often am I really at red line?
Right. I love the shifter in this. You did a great job. Is this from a modern, this knob?
To be honest, that's what came with it. I'm assuming it came off of the same ZX that the transmission was a donor car from.
Okay.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. That was one of the few things that I got the car with, and it just worked, so
nice.
Why mess with it? could enjoy it.
I don't want to give it back to you. It's fun.
And that's it.
Sweet.
Now let the fans do their thing for a minute.
Are they on a timer or you just shut them off?
Just the toggle switch.
I have to leave. Mine's not hot in my Falcon. I just have to leave the key on.
I got you.
To do that.
This was the switch that the guy